Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us. My name is Thomas, and I'm reporting today from the World Hydrogen Expo here in KINTEX, South Korea. My next guest is Mr. Mayan, who is the founder and CEO of MayanAirovation Technologies.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me here. It's a pleasure.
Can you introduce a little bit about yourself and about the company?
Of course. So MayanAirovation, actually, you're meeting us in a very interesting point in our time.
Okay.
In the last 8 years, we were a startup based in Israel and maturing in Korea and Japan in the last 6 years.
Okay.
And we're now moving from the startup to the scale-up stage. And we came with, of course, mineralization technology that we developed. In our mind, carbon is not a problem. Carbon, it's it's a kind of material that have to be utilized and not just buried under the ground in geological storage. So what we're doing, we're actually mineralizing point source emissions. And by that, we're able to support low carbon hydrogen production. Not only the green one, but getting clean hydrogen based on methane kind of production that exists today.
Yeah, I saw a little bit about your speech. There was some platform, CCUS platform. So that's the process that you were talking about.
Exactly.
So could you explain a little bit more about how that works?
Of course. So we are not just a piece in the chain. We're bringing in some case, all the solution. So the solution is started with engaging with the chimney. Let's say steam methane reforming, standard gray hydrogen process. We're taking all the emissions to our process, and in the first step, it's a liquid processing of mineralization. We're building ammonium carbonate at that stage in very efficient way. Our carbon footprint, it's very low, the energy consumption very low. It's done in almost normal temperature and no pressure. So in this chemical physical process, we're creating an efficiency of 95% and higher. And this ammonium carbonate captured are processed with additional environmental huge problem that's called phosphogypsum. So we are anchoring the CO2 at the second stage on top of the gypsum. Now, you can ask us, where are the gypsum around the world? So there is 3 major sources for gypsum. Of course, there's the mined one, the natural one. But there's around 500 million tons that created every year. 500 million tons. Okay, I think our imagination would stop in a full truck 50 ton.
Yeah,
okay?
I don't know what that
we
looks
can
like.
imagine, it's mountains.
Right.
Okay, so around 300 million tons created from phosphofertilizers.
Okay.
So as we're going and population growing, we need fertilizers, and it's a byproduct that comes out. But it's also a byproduct that comes from other kind of separation processes of metals. And as we go to energy storage, we're consuming more metals. Okay, so it's kind of piling of this material. Other source of gypsum comes from coal power plants. So in India, 80% of the electricity comes from coal power plants. So another 200 million tons of synthetic gypsum are a potential feedstocks. So those two both kind of combine through the process, and we're creating 3 end products. We're creating ammonium sulfide that it can go as is as a fertilizer in liquid or dry. We're creating sulfuric acid from this ammonium sulfide that can go to support this kind of detaching process of the metal from the calcium. And we're creating calcium carbonate. Now calcium carbonate, it's a permanent storage of CO2. That's how nature storing it in the reality. That's kind of creating these limestones in the sea. So we're creating a synthetic or low carbon calcium carbonate that also avoiding the need of new mining of calcium carbonate. And the quality of the calcium carbonate will be highly depend on the source of the gypsum that we're using. So if we're using the worst source, let's say the phosphogypsum with a lot of impurities inside, the end product will be fit for being in construction or infrastructure layers. Quite cheap, but still usable. If we're taking the coal power plant, in our imagination, coal is dirty.
Yeah.
But in the reality, the gypsum that created there, it's a synthetic and it's quite in good quality. It's used mainly today in drywalls, but that gypsum can create a calcium carbonate for plastic and paper decarbonization. So decarbonization is not only the direct emissions, it's also the non-direct, the scope 2 and 3, and creating low carbon materials, it's one of the ways. Now, having those additional product revenue stream, enabling you not put all this cost on supporting the hydrogen production. Because once you're putting the carbon capturing, utilization, and storage just on the hydrogen, you're increasing the price of the blue, never mind. It will become maybe not so expensive.
And
like
the risk as well.
And the risks, okay? So in that case, you splitting the cost between those sectors and other products depend on the market dynamics. You can adjust yourself to the region well, and you can really enable low carbon hydrogen. You know, in Europe, it's not called in colors anymore. Okay, you have the green, but you don't have anymore the blue. They call it low carbon.
That. Yes.
So you can create low carbon hydrogen with no CO2 emissions in very attractive price point, and that's what we need to aim. The hard to abate industry is having a hard time to adopt the idea that they need to pay 5 times higher on a hydrogen to become more environmental. It's not goes.
Not a good speech to make a sale now.
No, they can't. It's a commodity business. They have very limited margins. So you can't add like 500 times more expensive material. They will not able to digest it.
Right.
But if if they're buying now, let's say the gray, and gray are used, refinery, ammonia plants, chemical plants. If you will able to bring them more environmental solution in a price of $3, maybe $3.50, or maybe later lower, very near to the price point of the gray, the ball will start to roll. Okay, and those clients will start to be using it and piling it, and then it will create the higher demand because it's kind of a chicken and egg position. It's kind of a schnitzel.
I've heard that phrase used a lot throughout the past 2 days.
Of course, I was pitching in Hamburg less than a month ago on the hydrogen and carbon capturing event, and you have kind of a feeling, a big disappointment. The market is not moving. You don't have the customer that's willing to buy.
However, with some optimism though for these new technologies.
We have to be optimists. We have to build baby steps forward. We need to, correlate the expectations.
Yes.
This is the bigger issue.
Practical realities.
Practical reality. Things are going slower. It's not presentations. It's real hardware, setting sites.
Absolutely.
It takes time. We need to be much more patient because when we are not, we are actually the one that tilting the market. Right. We're creating kind of non-reasonable reality, and then we get disappointed from that. So I think we're bringing additional opportunity here of carbon to value, and we're scaling now in Israel to a blue hydrogen valley. So it's kind of was a vision of mine 3 years ago. It's already now under contract between fertilizer. So the overlapping position of those clusters are crucial because again, you're splitting the risk, you're splitting the cost. You have energy company, gas that like to be involved in hydrogen production based on their gas. So they're coming as a strategic partner. You have fertilizer company that's piling this 3 million ton of waste. So overlapping them, creating this opportunity of restructuring the region. And from the most polluted area today near the Dead Sea to become in the future maybe very green one or very, very blue one.
Right.
Very blue one. And same, we now signed the framework agreement in Korea. So in Israel, it's now moving toward construction already. Okay. It took some time to mature it. Usually the maturity happening with some feasibility study, engineering.
Of course.
And so in Israel, it's now rolling towards the semi-commercial side in the next couple of months. In Korea, it's finished the pre-feasibility study. It's signed the framework agreement between Korean entities and some Japanese entities that involve, actually like 5 partners here. And it will go in the coming year, in the first half a year, it will be doing the feasibility and engineering with the purpose to start to build it up at 2027.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing this great technology with us and good luck in the future.
Thank you very much for
My pleasure.
hosting me, and thanks.
Thank you.